Hi, I'm Rob McGargle with Taylor Guitars. Today we're going to go over how to restring your nylon string Taylor guitar. It's pretty simple, yet there's a couple things we want to work on and make sure you understand. The idea behind the nylon string is to make sure the strings hold and they don't slip. The tuners are slightly wider and they have to wrap around the bridge. So within this video, I'm going to go over that for you. First thing we need to do though is remove our strings. As you can see, I like to take one off at a time and just remove it completely because we do need to pull it through the bridge. A nice feature about how we install our strings is being able to remove them just as easily as installing them, and we'll be going over that. You can see how easily those came undone. Now it's simple. We're just going to grab the string. Be careful on this unwind. We don't want it to slap the guitar. And we'll just pull it through and discard the string. If you feel like, if you want to do for safety's sake for your guitar, feel free to put a little rag right here, a little post-it note. That'll help you out. But if you're careful, you'll be just fine without it. Okay, so our strings are gone. Now, it doesn't matter which way you start. You can do high E to low E or low E to high E. I prefer the low E. We're going to come through the bridge from the front. Okay, you'll have your bridge pin holes. Come through, and we're just going to do the traditional twist method. Okay, so it's basically like tying your shoe. We're going to come up. We're going to wrap this through. Give yourself enough room so you have some string to hold on to. Nylon strings are pretty long. You have a pretty decent amount. Now when we're holding this, we're going to put our finger here and just cinch it down tight. And what you're going to notice here, I'm going to turn the camera. So what you'll notice is the way the string is laying, I'm going to be able to get my A string through here and wrap around that low E and tie it. That keeps the strings just going right along the back of the bridge. It keeps them nice and neat. Now we're going to do that with all of the strings all the way through. And it keeps it nice and neat, and it makes it easy when you polish. The biggest thing it's going to do for you is it's not going to allow the string to lay on the top. A lot of times that's going to cause an unwanted vibration. So having them tight up against the bridge is really helpful. Now there's several ways to go about the tuner post. There's the method of tying them on. There's a method of looping them. At Taylor, we dropped it in straight down. We have our tuner set so the post is straight up and down for us. We come around the back side here of the post. And all we're going to do is come into the front of the string and hold it. One loop is all we need. Just one loop in front, and we can start winding. Now, you can continue this. You can do it with just one loop, or if you'd like, you can pull the string up, move it over, and do multiple times over that string. When we're all done, you'll get a good shot of that, of what it looks like, but this will hold the strings very well with just one loop. We're going to move on to our next string. Same exact technique, nothing changes. We're looking here. We're going to hold this string up now because I need my A string to come up under my low E. All right, once again, give yourself enough string. There's plenty of string on a nylon string. We'll have plenty on the posts. So give yourself enough room to be able to wrap your strings. Come down, pull it tight. Once again, give yourself enough string, like we spoke about, to move on to the next string. Line ourselves back up through the top of the post here, through the top. Back through the front. Give yourself, a few inches of string here, a few inches of slack. Come around and wrap it into the front of the string. Hold the string down. And just start winding. Now, like I said before, you can take the string up, you can pull it over, and now I'm going to have multiple wraps on this string. What that does, it really self-locks the string. Like I said, you could tie it, but we prefer this method. And it really comes back to the beginning of the video when I said the strings will remove very easily. It's a slotted headstock, and the last thing you want to do is damage the headstock while removing your strings. Lift that string again, find it. Come back through. As the strings get smaller or thinner, feel free to go 3 wraps. Right now on these bass strings, I'm just doing a couple. But as you go, you may want to go 3 wraps because you don't want it to slip. So again, line it up. And you can see how much string I have. I have plenty of string here. And that's the longest string you're going to have is your D and Gs. Okay, once again, find that hole, come through. And on that, I did go 3 wraps. I hope you saw that, but it's 3 times. I'm going to go 3 on the B, and I'm also going to go 3 on the E. Now what you'll notice here is I have my tag ends a little long for my liking. Honestly, they're fine. You could just wrap the other strings on it, but I'm going to trim them just slightly because it's just too much tag for my liking. There we go. And now my G is set right perfect for my B. There we go. Once again, 3 times. So there's once, twice, 3 times. And that's going to hold well. Speaking of the tag length, it's okay, like I said, to leave that little extra length and then have to trim it. The last thing you want to do is have the string slide. So a little bit more tang length gives it that safety, so when it is going under tension, it's able to cinch itself down without completely coming off the back of your bridge. Once again here, straight up. Grab the string. Come through. Give yourself a couple inches here off the nut, no problem, plenty of space. Hold it. And that's going to hold well. Now I'm going to trim this right here at the end of the bridge, just to keep it nice and neat. Now here's the only twist that's going to happen. All of the strings are laying across the bridge towards the treble side. Well, we're on our last string. This string is going to be cut going this direction. So I'm going to wind it, and then when I trim it, it'll be heading the other direction because we don't want it to hang out past the bridge. Take a look at this here. You see the B string? See how it's laying down and it's almost touching that top? If we don't wrap that string up so that the E is holding it, that can be one of those annoying buzzes where you can't figure out where the sound is coming from your guitar, but you know there's a buzz. So taking care of your strings, it's very important. So we're going to hold that up. Have our string come through just like that. There we go. So you can see how this is now hanging the other direction. Cinch that down tight. Once again, remember, it's the front of the string. We come around from here, we loop it, and we come through the front and we hold it. Now, I'm using a power winder. I'm just used to it. You can do this with a hand winder, it's no problem. Now, all I'm going to do is take this tag end and trim it right up next to the B string. So now I'm just going to trim the E right up next to the B. And what you're going to notice here is we have a nice, neat, clean back of the bridge. All of our strings are locked in place, and this keeps it really clean. It keeps anything from touching the top of the guitar. There's going to be no vibration from the strings. All you have to do now is tune the guitar. When we have it tuned, do not cut the ends of the strings yet, just in case they happen to slip. Tune the guitar, let it hold into pitch, and then trim the strings. I mean, you can hear from my power winder how much the nylon strings stretch. So any slippage, you need that little bit extra to help you. All right, let's tune it one more time just to get it close. Now that is close to being in pitch. It's not going to stay in pitch right away. This is a nylon string, and anyone who's used to a nylon understands the strings are going to go through a phase of stretching. Over the course of 10-15 minutes, they're going to start to hold tune. At that time, feel free, come up to your headstock, be very gentle, and you can trim your strings. Nice and simple, just right there. I'm not trying to get too close to the headstock. So here's what you're going to see. You see the string coming here, and it's actually laying under these strings. So the strings are wrapped over my tag end, and what that does, it simply just locks the string for you. And as I mentioned earlier, removing the strings, all we have to do now is just unwind them completely, and they will just come right off the tuner post. So technically they're tied, they're locked, but they're very easy to remove, and that's important when working with your guitar. And with that, your guitar is restrung.